The next module will be the accounting module. We'll be accessing the accounting over here on the left menu. When you click on this, it sends you to the accounting page. You enter username and password. Now when you log in successfully, it will show you the dashboard. We have the assets over here, the liabilities, incomes, and then expenses. And the amounts are being shown against them, and either it is a credit or a debit. Now let's go to the chart of account. Before that, the heading shows account for financial year 1st January 2014 to 31st December 2014, and this account has been logged, meaning that no changes can be made to this account. If you want to unlock this account, you just come to settings that's been logged. So you click on edit, and then you click on unlocked, and then you just click on continue, and then the whole page will refresh, and then you see account unlocked. Chart of account. This shows all the accounts in the school. For instance, this school has primary building, GHS building, the school bus, debtors, their bank account, Ecobank and Ghana Commercial Bank, cash in hand, petty cash, fees owing, goodwill, capital, and the rest. Also, the name can be changed. If, for instance, I want to change the name from primary building to a different name, it can be changed over here, and then I can update it with the opening balance and everything. I can also click on a particular account and view the entries that has affected this particular account. Okay, so that's for the chart of account. We have the groups. The groups represent the parent accounts under which other sub accounts can be created. For instance, when we came to the chart of account, the asset is a parent group, tangible asset is a parent group, and the fixed asset is a parent group. So you can see fixed asset over here and the current asset over there, they are all parent group. You can add a new one by clicking on this, and you click on add group. Ledgers are the account that falls under the parent group. For instance, this interest on loan is an indirect income as a parent group. This is the opening balance at the beginning of the year, and this is the closing balance. Ecobank, for instance, falls under a parent group called bank, and the opening balance was 135,000, and then the closing is 139,600, which means that some entries has affected this particular account in this particular accounting year. And then when I click on the menus and I come to add ledger account, I can add a new account under a particular parent. Then when you click on a particular account, particular parent account, it shows you the sub account under this particular parent account. Let's come to the entries. This shows all the entry that has been made for this particular accounting year 2014. So cash in hand, petty cash, staff allowance, bank charges, fees received are all entries that have been made in this particular accounting year. So that when I click on this cash in hand, this particular entry, it shows me the two accounts that were affected. GCB Bank was affected and then cash in hand was affected. So GCB Bank was credited with 5,000, and then cash in hand was debited with 5,000. So this is the total, and this is the description. Cash transfer from GCB Bank account into cash in hand account. You have received all the money that you've received will go over here. Then you can add a new one over here. You specify the account in which the money is being received from, and all these are being set at the settings level. So you set the account that you can receive money from and the account that you can pay money from, so no one makes a mistake with the debiting and the crediting of account. So you can, so for this particular entry, the money is being received from debtors, it will be cash in hand, and as you are selecting the account, it shows you their balance, whether it is a debit or a credit. And when you are done, you enter the amount and then receive it with the description over here. payment, the same thing. It shows you all the payment that has been made. You can add a new payment, the account you are paying from, the account you are paying into, the amount being paid, description, the amount, who received the amount, and who also authorized the amount. So for instance, the company name can be here, and then the person who authorized the amount in the school can be here, and then the comment can also be here. And then you select the date of the entry, and then you save. The same thing applies over here. You specify the account in which you can make payment from, and the account in which you can make payment into. All these are being set at the settings level. Control entry between is for account that affects either cash or bank, and they have the journal entry that affects non-cash account. Then you can also come to petty expenditure. For petty expenditure, is mainly there for petty expenses. For instance, for this particular petty expenditure, it was made by Isaac Mensah, and this is a description. It was authored by Isaac Mensah, and then you can also edit it, delete, print, or download as Excel. And then you can add a new petty expenditure. So the same thing, put down the expense account and the other expense account over here. Sorry, the amount over here. Description received by author, and then the comment, and you save the entry. Now let's talk about the report. We have the balance sheet report. Now this balance sheet is balancing because the amount over here tallies with the amount over here. This is the total for liabilities and then owner's equity, and the total is 1,325,790, and then the total for assets shows 1,325,790.90. So the amount over here tallies with the amount over here, and then there's a profit we made. If there was a profit, it will show over here net profit. If this was a loss, it will show over here net loss. So please take note of this. And then the profit and loss. So the amount that we are seeing over here should tally with the profit and loss amount over here. So when we come to the profit and loss, the gross profit is this, but the profit we actually made is this amount, which tallies with the amount at the balance sheet, which is this. Now trial balance could be a key dashboard which let you know if your balance is going to balance or not. When my trial balance is balancing, the debit over here is equal to the credit over here, which means that all the entries I've made for this particular accounting year, the total entries that affected the debit side is 12,700, and the total entries that affected the credit side is 12,700. So that when I look at this particular account, the audit fee, the opening balance was this, the closing balance was this, which means no entry affected the particular account. And now, for instance, for this account cash in hand, the opening balance was 12,000, the closing balance is 16,190. This means that some entries has affected this particular account, and the total debit is 5,000, and the credit is 90. Now, the ledger statement. For the ledger statement, you select a particular account, and then you can view the statement. This is similar to a bank statement. So let's say I want to view the statement for EcoBank at my side, I just click on load statement, and it shows me that for EcoBank, these are the two entries that affected this account: petty cash and then fees received. So which means for this one, we receive an amount of 139,600 in the EcoBank account, and then there's a control entry. Cash was moved from EcoBank account to petty cash account. And then the general report. General report, I can select multiple entry, and then I can print the report. So as you click on a particular entry, you see the check over here. As I click on it, it checks the particular entry on which I want to print the report. So I want to print the report on all these entries, and I select the starting and then the ending date. So for instance, if let's say I want the starting years to be this year, January 1st. This is just an example, and then the end should be on this day. And I click on print. I'm going to bring the report in that order, starting with petty expenditure, payment, receipt, and contra entry. Now Jonah is not shown over here because no entries was made for Jonah. That's why Jonah is not shown over here. But for this, we have the report showing over here. For this report, the expenses, the office expense account, and then the petty cash account were the two accounts involved over here. This is a description, received by, authorized by, and then the rest will be shown over here, and the total amount will be shown against that particular report type. So for this particular report type, based on this, the day selected, this is the total amount. This is the total amount for this. So that's it for the report. There are so many parts of the report that you can explore. And for the settings, we have the list of settings over here. So I can activate a particular accounting year. So let's say when I click on home, the create accounting year 2014, and these are the figures over here. When I hover on the chart, it shows me asset, liabilities, income, expense. The profit I made for this particular accounting year 2014 is this. 2015, this is the profit I made. 2016, no profit has been made. So I can activate 2016. When I come here, I click on this. I click on active and I click on update. It brings a pop-up and I just continue. Now I'm going to refresh the whole page. 2016 has been activated. So you could say that for 2016, no incomes have been made, no expenses have been made, but our assets and liabilities are still the same, which was carried forward from last year. Now I can add a new accounting year. Just enter the name, which is optional, the starting, and then the end year, and then the currency to be used for that particular accounting year, and then the date format to be used. And then you can activate it or deactivate it. Now the payment settings, as I said earlier on, you can specify over here which accounts are for payment. So when I click on this, which account are for payment, which means that which account can I pay from. So you can see the from on the top over here, from. So I can pay from cash in hand, I can pay from petty cash. So for this particular school, they can only pay from cash in hand, and they can also pay from petty cash, and then they can pay into they can pay into audit fee, bank charges, board allowance, bulk SMS, depreciation, maintenance, and then the rest. So you specify this so that when someone is making the entry, the person does not go and make an entry on a wrong account. You specify the account for payment. The same applies with receipt. You can receive money from which account? I can receive money from my debtors, fee owings, and then the rest, and then I can receive money into this. So you specify all this. Then when you are done, you come to the petty cash. With the petty cash, you specify the main account which is responsible for payment of general expenses. So for instance, for this particular school, the main account for making general expenses is petty cash, which has been selected. Then you specify the minimum balance for the account. Now the minimum balance for this account is 330, which means that if I'm trying to make a payment, and the payment, after the payment, the amount is going to be less than 330, then the system will not allow me to make that kind of payment unless I go for another reimbursement. So that's it for the settings. So that will be the end for the accounting system or module. Thank you.